All right, today we're diving into three massive, game-changing shifts happening in the world of finance right now. And we're going to frame this like a big Hollywood crossover event. We've got a payments remix, a high-stakes regulatory drama, and a comeback tour documentary, all happening at the same time. It's going to be good.
So, first up, we've got a payments remix. This is where a player you thought you knew is dropping a completely new track for the real world.
Then, we're jumping into a regulatory drama, where a digital disruptor is trying to trade in its cool, rebellious vibe for a seat at the big kids' table.
And we're going to wrap with a comeback tour documentary, following a beaten-down giant that some very big names are betting is about to make a huge return to the stage.
3 companies, 3 bold moves, and a whole lot to unpack about where money is headed. You ready? Let's roll the tape.
Okay, first up, Klarna. Now, I'm sure you've seen their name pop up at online checkouts a million times, but their latest move isn't about your browser anymore, it's about your daily life.
So what you're seeing here is a fundamental, and I mean fundamental shift. Klarna built its entire empire on being that buy now, pay later button you see everywhere online. But now, with Tap to Pay rolling out across 14 European markets, they are making a full-on push into the physical world. This isn't just adding a new little feature. No, this is a land grab. They want to be your default payment for groceries, for clothes, for your morning coffee, you name it.
And here's the real strategy, the big why behind all this. They're chasing what the industry calls your share of daily spend. Look, owning online checkout was a massive victory for them, but owning your offline everyday wallet, that is the holy grail. They want to build that payment muscle memory, so you just instinctively reach for the Klarna app without even thinking about it.
And this quote, man, it just nails the end game perfectly. It's a genius way to think about it. If you control both the payment system and the interface, the app on your phone, you create this self-contained world that people just exist in. It is an incredibly slick and powerful play for total consumer loyalty.
All right, let's move on to our second act. Let's talk about Nubank. This fintech titan from Latin America is on the cusp of making a move that could transform everything for them.
Before we go any further, just look at that number. 110 million customers. That scale is just staggering, and it's the whole backdrop for what comes next. I mean, these are the guys who cracked open a market dominated by old, stuffy banks, bringing millions of people into the financial system for the first time.
And here's their journey in a nutshell. They started as that cool, edgy challenger with a beautiful app and no fees. Now, they're applying for a full-blown banking license in Brazil. So why is that a big deal? Well, a full license means more control, way deeper capabilities in things like lending and deposits, and ultimately, the power to become the actual backbone for Brazil's next generation of finance. This isn't just a move, it's a graduation.
I absolutely love this comparison because it just captures the vibe so perfectly. Nubank earned its reputation on the streets, right? With the everyday user. Getting that banking license is like the official invitation to the high-fashion world of finance. The establishment doesn't have a choice anymore. They have to take them seriously as a major player.
And for our final act, the comeback tour, starring the one and only Fiserv. These guys are an absolute giant in payments. They're the engine behind huge systems like Clover. But boy, have they had a tough ride lately.
And yeah, this chart pretty much says it all, doesn't it? A 75% stock drop. They've had to cut guidance, they've had some operational stumbles. It has been a brutal run. You can literally see how much value has just been vaporized, which sets up a fascinating and very high-stakes question. Is this a value trap, a stock that looks cheap but is just going to keep on falling? Or is it a value gem, a hidden opportunity that the rest of the market is completely missing? That is the billion-dollar question, and some very smart people are starting to place their bets. So why in the world are hedge funds and insiders buying this up so aggressively? Well, this is the bull case. The argument is that Fiserv is still deeply woven into the world's financial plumbing. They process a mind-boggling amount of merchant volume. They have all these different revenue streams, and with their valuations so crushed, even small improvements could lead to huge upside. The bet is that the business itself isn't broken, only the market sentiment is. And this is the perfect way to think about it. While everyone else is panicking and dumping their stock, the seasoned pros, the OGs, see the long-term value. They're the ones buying when there's blood in the streets, betting that quality and legacy are going to shine through again in the end. Okay, so let's tie this all together. We've seen a payments remix, a regulatory drama, and a comeback tour. 3 different players, 3 very different visions for the future. This table lays it all out beautifully.
You've got Klarna going on offense, trying to own your physical wallet, like Spotify deciding to make its own hardware. You've got Nubank playing for legitimacy, graduating to the big leagues, like a streetwear brand hitting the Paris runway. And then you've got Fiserv, where insiders are betting on a massive revival, like sneakerheads finding gems during a market crash. Each move, whether it's about offense, legitimacy, or survival, shows you a different way to win in this crazy, fast-changing financial world.
You know, each of these stories tells us something really important about the future of finance. One's about ecosystem control, another's about becoming part of the institution, and the last is about recognizing deep value and nobody else does. So the question I'll leave you with is this. As all these worlds collide, which of these movies will you be watching?